Hello, my friends, and welcome. Hello, everybody. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this long special episode we were forced to do regarding the things we witnessed in the World Table Tennis Champions Macau 2025 event. I am Thomas Kousioris, and you will be watching next to me some photos. Some excellent photos from this event in slow motion changing, and I will be analyzing with my own unique style what I believe has happened and why you can never count down the Chinese table tennis, we would say, League of Champions. Okay, we witnessed extraordinary things that happened, and we are going to talk and analyze everything regarding this major event. And of course, the big boss of this event came back in the number one place, Wang Chuqin. So let's start. As I said earlier, my name is Kous, my nickname is Kous, my name is Thomas Kousioris. I am excited to guide you through what happened in Macau and why it matters. We will spend a lot of time talking about the men's final between Wang Chuqin and Hugo Calderano, and we will also talk about the women's final between Suning Sha and Wang Manu. After that, we will look at why Chinese players are so strong and what other countries can do in order to compete against them and win them. I will speak slowly and clearly, and I will also tell you how things have happened exactly from the beginning. First, we will have to look at the event itself. The World Table Tennis Champions Macau 2025 was held at the Macau East Asian Games Dome from September 13 to 14 of 2025. It is one of the biggest table tennis events of the year, and this is very important. You have to understand that it brings together the world's best players. Basically, the event ended yesterday, and yesterday we had the semi-finals and the finals as well. It started earlier the previous Monday, I think, and it ended in Sunday. Yesterday we had basically two important games. We had the semi-finals and the finals. So let me explain you exactly, and I want to demonstrate you and show you some photos as well regarding, I don't know if you can see them here. You can see Calderano. Some months ago, Calderano made the breakthrough and won the Macau event. What happened there? I think it was around 4 to 5 months before this event, and it was revenge time for the Chinese Table Tennis Association as far as results have to do. Of course, all the players, they have very good relationship between them, but when they meet on the table, then definitely we need to see action, and we are watching the best of the best. And yesterday we had the privilege to watch Wang Chuqin basically destroying everybody and basically showing to everybody that he is now 24 years old, 1 year younger than the golden era of Ma Long that started at 25 years old. He showed a lot of maturity. He has matured a lot in his game. I see that he has developed in a very strong, powerful Chinese machine gun, we would say, of table tennis, and he showed no mercy. We had all seen and witnessed his capabilities against the greatest of all times, Ma Long, in the past, in the Chinese Super League and in some other major tournaments that happened 2 to 3 years ago. Unfortunately, he had some bad luck. He lost some major matches, we would say, Wang Ziqin, but he always had what we call the lion heart. He's very strong and he is back and stronger than ever. So, first of all, we have to talk about the event itself. The event, the arena in Macau, can hold thousands of fans, as you saw, and during this tournament it was full of people waving flags, holding signs and cheering loudly. It was hot and humid outside, but inside the dome the air conditioning kept the playing area cool. The lights were bright, making the table shine like a stage. So we had a perfect venue. Congratulations to the organizers of the event. And you can see some photos also from this venue. The lights were perfect, and if we neglect the fact that we still had some people flashing using flashlights, then everything was as good as could have been. Okay, so now this tournament is also important because it happens just before the World Table Tennis China Smash. China Smash is another huge event. The winners and losers in Macau would go into China Smash with either a boost of confidence or a lot of questions. The players knew that the world was watching. In table tennis, small differences matter, so events like this are a chance to test new tactics and learn about your opponents. So it was something very, very strong, we would say, as a tournament, and also we had the privilege to see if Ugo Calderano was able to defend his previous win, we would say, in the same venue that happened 4 months ago. During the week leading up to the finals, there were many exciting matches. The semi-finals were played on September 14th in the morning. In the women's semi-finals, we had Suning Sa, top Chinese player, beating Kuai Man and Wang Manu, that she ended up in second place. Of course, Wang Manu beforehand beat Chen Hingtong. In the men's semi-finals, once again, Wang Chuqin beat Zhang Guzin, and Ugo Calderano beat Anders Lind. You can see the photos changing next to me regarding these major matches. As far as what I witnessed is that Anders Lind is definitely very strong, and he's becoming much more better every time he plays. So I'm sure we will be seeing a lot of Anders Lind in the future, and he's very, very strong. So I believe that we have a European champion. In Europe, definitely Anders will be very, very strong, and if he's on a very good day, Anders can beat anybody. And I'm really happy about him because He has shown really good mental strength and matured in his game. Congratulations to Anderlecht. Now let me a little bit talk about what happened as we move through the analysis. I will break down each game. I will talk about the tactics and emotions and share some stories about the players. We will look at why the Chinese system produces so many champions and what other countries can learn from them. So, let's start with the women's final, okay? The women's final, we had Suning Sha against Wang Manu. We have a very strong background between these two great female Chinese players and rivalry. Let's get to know our first two players that we have, that they are Suning Sha, the current number one female player in the world, okay, very strong. She's known for her explosive speed, and you can see her holding the trophy. Unpredictable player, very strong player, very powerful player. So she is known for her explosive speed, quick reflexes and strong mental focus. At just 25 years old, she has already won many titles, including World Championships and Olympic medals. She is often called Sasha, which is her nickname in China. Her playing style is aggressive. She likes to get the first attack with her forehand or backhand loop and then keep her opponent under constant pressure. Very strong player, and you can see also in the photos next to me, you can see the players, some moments from the players from Wang Manu and from the final. Wang Manu is the world number 2. She is very strong. She is about the same age as Sun and has also won major tournaments. Wang plays a more balanced, we would say, game, mixing spin and speed, and she has a very strong backhand. She is famous for her fighting spirit and ability to come back from behind. Wang and Shan are both part of the Chinese national team. And because China has so many top players, they often play each other in finals. Their matches are always exciting because they know each other's game very well. They practice together, very good friends off the table, and we would say that Suning Sha basically is a little bit strong mentally and sometimes delivers in pressure a little bit more better, we would say. But both of them, they are very strong. Going now into the Macau final, both Shan and Wang had something to prove. Shan wanted to show that she deserved to be number one and that she could win under pressure. Wang wanted to show that she could beat Shan in a major final and maybe take back the top ranking. The fans knew this would be a tough match, a tough battle, because the last time they met in a final, it went to the wire to 7 games. Some people in the crowd were cheering for Shan, some were cheering for Wang, and others were simply excited to see great table tennis. So it is very important to see that, especially in the women's table tennis, China is in a league definitely on their own. All the top 4 players in the semi-finals and finals were from China. So congratulations to the Chinese national team. Congratulations to China for doing what has to be done in order to secure that all the places will always go in the women's, in the major events. So they are working very strong in the Chinese national team, and the final, as we saw, was played as a best of 7 series of games, meaning that the first player to win 4 games would win the match. Let's break down a little bit each game and talk about what happened. It is really important to see these games, but I will guide you a little bit with my own unique style, how Sun managed to win this match. So Sun started to take early control. At the start of the first game, both players looked a little nervous. They exchanged careful shots, testing each other's timing. Wang won 2 of the first 3 points, using her serve to spin the ball wide. But Sun soon found her rhythm. She stood closer to the table and attacked quickly off Wang's backhand serve. She won 5 points in a row to lead 6-2. Wang tried to slow the pace by stepping back and adding more spin, but Sun kept her focus. She reached game point at 10-5. So she had a game point at 10-5. Wang saved 3 game points with aggressive backhand blocks, bringing the score to 10-8. Then at 10-8, Wang served short to Sun's forehand. Sun read it well, stepped around and hit a stinging forehand down the line to win the game 11-8. So the first game gave Sun confidence. She could see her tactics were working, serving short, then attack fast. It also reminded Wang that Sun would punish any weak serve. In table tennis, momentum matters, every single detail matters, so winning the first game, especially for mentality reasons and psychology, we would say was crucial, and the pressure now went to her opponent, to Wang Manu. So let's see now what happened in game number 2. In game number 2, Wang struck back. So Wang is very strong player. The second game was one of the best of the tournament. Wang decided to change her approach. Instead of serving short, she served long with heavy backspin. So it is really important to see that she changed her approach and served long in order to surprise Suning Sha. This forced her opponent, forced Sun to loop from further back, giving Wang time to counter. Wang moved to a 4-1 lead. Sun adjusted quickly, stepping forward and flicking the long serve. She won 5 points in a row to lead 6-4. The crowd cheered loudly, switching sides with each long rally. Wang then used her famous shovel serve, a tricky serve that looks like a backspin but is actually side spin. Sun returned one of these serves into the net and Wang caught up with her at 7-7. At 9-9, the tension was high. Wang earned a game point at 9-10 with a clever placement to Sun's wide forehand. Sun saved it with a powerful cross-court forehand. Wang earned another at 10-11, but Sun saved again. It's very important to understand that each point in these tournaments, in this level counts. So Wang earned another at 10-11, but Sun saved again. Wang earned a third game point at 12-13 and finally converted it when Sun overhit a backhand loop. The final score was 15-13 for Wang, tying the match at 1 game each. In this game, Wang showed her mental toughness. She kept her nerve after losing 3 game points and took the set on her 4th opportunity. Very strong player, Wang Manu, as we said earlier, but I believe she has a little bit weakness when it goes in the mental factor against Sun In-sa. Now let's go in game number 3. What happened in game number 3? In the third game, Sun started like she did in the first. She attacked early using quick top spin loops to open up a 6-2 lead. Wang fought back. She used deep serves to push Sun back and then attacked with her own forehand. She saved 5 game points, bringing the score to 10-9 for Sun. At this moment, Sun decided to call a timeout. A timeout in table tennis gives a player 1 minute to calm down and talk to their coach. Of course, they didn't have a coach because they are from the same country. But she talked to herself, tried to solve out what she has to do. I believe that herself taught her to be patient and to play to Wang's elbow, the area between forehand and backhand. When the play resumed, Sun served long to Wang's backhand and then hit a heavy loop to Wang's middle, forcing a mistake. Sun won the game 11-9 and led 2-1 in games. This game showed how important timeouts are, even if you are on your own, even if you can calm down and have yourself basically giving advice you and being the coach. And we have seen Aruna, Quadri Aruna from Africa, doing this quite a lot. Sometimes a short break helps a player reset and make the right tactical choice. Sun used it perfectly. She also showed she could handle pressure when Wang saved several game points. So easily Sun showed to everybody that could handle pressure, and even when Wang saved several game points, she was there. So let's go now in game number 4. In game number 4, you will see that Wang levels again. Yes. Wang changed her tactics again in game 4. She used more side spin serves and followed them up with quick attacks to Sun's body. Sun looked uncomfortable and made some unforced errors. The game was close at 8-8. Wang then produced 3 strong forehand attacks in a row, winning 11-9. The match was tied again at 2-2 each. Wang's ability to switch tactics kept Sun guessing and kept the match exciting. And what we have to remember here, and what we have to state, is that basically, as you have noticed, in all these changes between Wang and Sun, the most important factor is being able to have a very strong forehand winner. And it's very strong to use your forehand in order to prevail and to win. Backhand is great, but as we have said in the past, forehand is the way to go if you want to win in the really big tournaments. Game number 5. So Wang take control. She served short to Sun's backhand and then attacked Sun's wide forehand. Sun started making mistakes, perhaps feeling the pressure. Wang raced to a 6-2 lead. Sun tried to fight back, but Wang's defense was strong. Wang won 11-5, taking her first lead in the match at 3-2. She was now just 1 game away from the title. At this point, many fans thought Wang would finish in the match in game 6. She had momentum and confidence. Sun looked tense, but table tennis can turn quickly. That's why we love table tennis. is the best sport in the world because it's very unpredictable. In the game number 6, we have Sun. Sun refuses to lose. Yes, Sun is very strong and Sun says, okay, I'm not going to lose. She had to win game 6 in order to stay alive, and she came out fighting. She served with more variation, mixing short and long serves. She attacked Wang's elbow, that area between forehand and backhand, again and again. She led 6-3, but Wang caught up at 7-7. Sun then won 3 points in a row to reach 7-7. She was 10-7 ahead. Wang saved 2 game points with brave attacks. At 10-9, Sun chose a simple safe serve short to Wang's forehand. Wang pushed it long and Sun attacked with a backhand flip to win 11-9. The match was now tied 3-3 going to a deciding 7th game once more. Sun's decision to mix her serves and target Wang's elbow paid off. So, a very smart tactic from Sun. In game 7, Sun finishes strong and proves why she's world number 1 and why by far she is the best and in another league. The final game began with both players looking nervous but determined. Okay. They exchanged points to 5-5. Sun then made a decisive move. She served long to Wang's backhand, catching her off guard, and followed with a fast backhand down the line. That gave Sun a 6-5 lead. She then won 3 more points by attacking Wang's backhand corner and forcing errors. At 9-5, the crowd could feel the end coming. Wang saved 1 point at 9-6, but Sun closed out the game 11-6 with a ferocious backhand down the line. She fell to her knees in celebration as the crowd erupted. It is very important to see this match and see yourself how these players move, how the top female Chinese players are moving all around the table during the match and how they work with their tactics. Sun won the match 4-3 with game scores 11-8, 13-15, 11-9, 9-11, 5-11, 11-9 and 11-6. It was one of the most thrilling women's final in recent years. Afterwards, Sun said, "It was an incredible final between me and Manu today. It once again went the full distance to Game 7. We both gave our absolute best in all 7 games for Team China." So, her win strengthened her position even more at the world's number 1 and gave her 7 World Table Tennis Champions titles. Great achievement for Sun In-Sha. And it is really important to see what is the outcome, what we have learned from the women's final. And this match taught us several things. First, resilience matters. Resilience matters. Even when she was down 3-2 in games, Sun In-Sha believed she could come back. So mentality and psychology is very strong. You have to believe you can come back. Second, tactical adjustments are important. Both players changed their serves and attacking patterns throughout the match. The opponent didn't know what to expect. Third, mental strength, as we said, is a key factor and the most important. In long matches, players must stay calm and focus on each point. Sun and Wang showed why they are at the top of the sport. For Wang, the loss will hurt, but she remains a top contender for future events and for the Chinese nation. She is able to represent at a high level and get the wins together with her teammate when it matters most in Olympic Games and World Championships. Now we are going to talk about the men. And here you can see I have some photos from our champions, Wang Ziqin and Suning Sha. And we are going to talk about Wang Ziqin against Hugo Calderano. We are talking about epic battles here. And again, the strongest in the forehand section, we would say, Wang Ziqin prevailed and won the match. Many people were waiting for this match. This match lasted only 4 games, but there is a lot to talk about because of the context and the tactics used. This was a revenge game, we would say, from Wang Ziqin. Wang Ziqin proved to everybody that he is the real boss of table tennis, and basically we have to talk a little bit and analyze the background before this match and the story. Wang Ziqin, Wang Chuqin, some people call it, sorry for my mistakes sometimes, it's normal, is 24 years old and one of the rising stars of Chinese table tennis. Only 24 years old. Remember that Ma Long was 25 years old when he started his golden era. He plays left-handed, which is less common and can give him an advantage. Wang is known for his explosive forehand loops, very explosive and powerful forehand loops, and his solid backhand flicks. He is also a very good doubles player. Before Macau, he was ranked number 2 in the world, behind Lin Xidong. And however, Lin Xidong lost early in this tournament, which opened the door for Wang to reclaim the top ranking. So, it was a very big thing for Wang to be able to get back in the number 1 place. Hugo Calderano is 29 years old and comes from Brazil. Okay, he is the best player from the Americas and the first Brazilian to reach the top 5 in world rankings. Hugo's game is built around a strong forehand and fast footwork. He has improved a lot his backhand in recent years. It is very important to know that earlier in 2025, Hugo beat Wang for free in the ITTF Men's World Cup final in Macau. That win was historic. It was the first time a non-Chinese player had won a major men's title in years. Because of that result, many fans were excited to see if Hugo could beat Wang again. But of course now the Chinese table tennis national team was prepared and wanted to give a statement to the world that they are the best. Before the final in Macau, both players had tough matches. Wang defeated Yang Yujin 4-0 in the semi-final using a variety of serves and attacks. Hugo defeated Anders Lind with powerful shots from mid-distance. Both looked in good form, however the final would be very different. So let's now talk about the game 1. In the game 1 we had a balanced start, but Wang took it. Wang takes game number 1. Very important in the final, the player who wins number 1 the first game. The first game started with both players feeling each other out. Hugo won the first 2 points using quick serves to Wang's backhand. Wang responded with heavy topspin loops and tied at 2-2 each. The points went back and forth. Yes. And it was a close battle. At 5-5, Hugo produced a spectacular forehand winner from well behind the table, giving him a 6-5 lead. He extended this to 8-6 with another strong attack. At this moment, it looked like he might take the opening game. It is very crucial to be able to win the opening game in this final situation. But Wang stayed calm. He served long to Hugo's backhand and followed with forehand loops to the wide forehand. Hugo missed 2 shots and the score was 8-8. Wang then played a clever short serve, forcing Hugo to push high. Wang attacked with his backhand to go up 10-8. Hugo saved 1 game point at 10-9 with a risky flick. On the second game point, Wang served to Hugo's body, causing a weak return. Wang finished with a forehand down the line, winning 11-9. So, this was the first, we would say, statement from Wang that he was very serious and he was back 100%. The first game showed that Wang had learned from his previous loss to Hugo. He didn't allow Hugo to use his powerful, explosive style. He was ready for Hugo's strong forehand and did not panic when behind. It also showed that Hugo was still dangerous and could hit winners from anywhere, but the momentum had shifted to Wang. Wang was there, he was ready, and he had studied a lot the previous game against Hugo that he lost some months ago, and he was ready and he stepped up. So, in game number 2, Hugo continued to try different serves, some fast and long, some short with spin. Wang returned them calmly and attacked. At 3-3, Hugo served short. Yes, Hugo served short. Wang flicked with his backhand and immediately attacked with his forehand to make it 4-3. He then won 3 straight points, going up 7-3. Hugo tried to slow things down, stepping back and using high spin loops, but even this wasn't enough. Wang moved in and countered with powerful forehands. Again, like the previous final we talked about women, the powerful winning forehands separate, we say, the men from the boys and make the difference. And it's always important to remember that powerful forehands are the key to win the big tournaments. Wang reached game point at 10-5. Hugo saved 2 points with strong serves, but Wang closed the game 11-7 with a deep serve that Hugo pushed long. Now Wang led 2-0. So things are starting to change and showed to everybody that you can never count the Chinese national team players out. The second game showed Wang's ability to adjust mid-game. He changed his return positioning, sometimes standing closer to the table, sometimes further back. Hugo looked frustrated because his serves were not giving him easy points. So the frustration came from the serves that Wang was there and he replied to every single perfect. If Hugo could not change the momentum, he definitely would not be able to stand a chance. So Wang was there. Hugo couldn't change the momentum, and he had good replies. Wang Ziqin in all the Hugo tactics and moves he tried. So in game 3 we had another game that started badly for Hugo. Hugo, he served a fault on the very first point. In table tennis, a fault serve means you lose the point and have to serve again, which can hurt your confidence. Wang capitalized by attacking Hugo's next serve and going up to 0. Hugo fought back to a 3-3 using strong forehands. The game stayed close to 7-7. Hugo took a 8-7 lead after a long rally, but Wang won the next 2 points with heavy loops. Hugo tied it at 9-9 with a down the line forehand. Wang then served short to Hugo's forehand. Hugo pushed long and Wang attacked with a quick backhand to reach 10-9. On game point, Wang served long to Hugo's backhand and followed with a forehand to win 11-9. So, in the crucial moment, again, the serve variation of Wang and the fact that he took the initiation in the attack gave him the 11-9 win. At this point, Wang led 3-0 in games. He needed just one more to win. Hugo looked disappointed. His body language showed frustration. In table tennis, losing close games can be harder than losing by a large margin because you feel you missed small chances. Wang's calm focus contrasted with Hugo's tension. Wang knew he was back, stronger than ever. Wang finishes with style. So, in the final game, we see a Wang one-sided, we would say, one-sided play. Hugo tried to take risks, hitting hard early in the rallies. Some shots went in, but many missed. Wang kept playing strong and safe. He attacked balls that were slightly high and defended when needed. He quickly took a 5-1 lead. Hugo won 2 points to make it 5-3, but Wang then won 5 points in a row using a mix of fast loops and soft drop shots. At 10-3, Wang had 7 match points. Hugo saved one with a great forehand down the line, but on the next point, Wang played a short push that Hugo lifted long. Wang won the game 11-4. Wang Chekin won the game 11-4 and the match 4-0. The final score of the match, again 11-9, 11-7, 11-9, 11-4 in favor of Wang Chekin. Wang won 4-0. It was a dominant performance. Wang looked relieved and happy. He pumped his fist and waved to the crowd. He showed with his finger. He said, "I am the best. I am number one." Hugo looked dejected, but he smiled and applauded Wang. He congratulated Wang. Congratulations to Hugo Calderano. After the match, Wang said he trained more intensively and communicated with his coaches after his earlier loss, which made him more composed. He also said that he wanted to prove that the Chinese team is still the strongest in the world. And yes, the Chinese team, they are the strongest in the world. And one of the reasons they are the strongest in the world is that because they have the best training system, they have probably the best equipment as far as table tennis has to do, blades and rubbers of DHS, and also when in the top 10 we would say you always can have 2 or 3 Chinese table tennis teammates and they are playing the Chinese table tennis league. It is very difficult for another nation to be able to break this system and to win them, because if you think that the only country that could have in the future in the top 10 is either France or Germany, that would have more than one person or two in the top 10, then this is a very good strategy for China to be able to have all the time Chinese players in the top 10. They most of the times have 2, 3 or even 4 players in the top 10. So, after losing to Hugo in some months ago, Wang and his coaches studied that match carefully. This is what the Chinese team does. Even if they lose, they study everything perfectly and everything very carefully. They noticed that Hugo won many points with his serve and first attack. He took the initiation. In this final, Wang neutralized Hugo's serves by stepping forward and flicking quickly or stepping back and looping with heavy spin. This made it harder for Hugo to attack first. So he took the initiation and basically he neutralized Hugo's serves. This is what Wang Ziqin did. Also, he had some very nice serve variation. Wang mixed his own serves more than in the past. He sometimes served short with side spin, sometimes long and fast to the body of Hugo Calderano. This kept Hugo guessing and prevented him from making strong returns. So this is what Wang changed in his game. Now we are doing a comparison between this game with the game he played against Hugo 4 months or 5 ago. Patience. In the World Cup, Wang sometimes rushed and made mistakes. In Macau, he was more patient. He waited for the right ball to attack and defended when necessary. He took the initiation. He made the right decisions. He took the right decisions. This frustrated Hugo, that had to take more risks. Also, we saw that Wang matured a lot, although he's still 24 years old. Mental toughness, yes, the mental toughness, Wang said he trained harder and talked more with his coaches in order to improve this area. His calm attitude showed in this match. Even when Hugo hit spectacular winners, Wang did not panic. Hugo, on the other hand, looked tense after losing the first game, and his frustration showed. What this means now for the future? Now, it is really important to understand that because Lin Xidong lost in the quarterfinals, Wang's victory means he will regain the world number 1 ranking. This is really important because there are only a few months until the World Championships and the Olympic Games, we would say, that is the pinnacle of table tennis, and as we all know, time passes very fast. So, Wang's confidence is high and he will go into the next tournaments as the big Chinese favorite. I think Wang Ziqin has stepped into the era, the golden era, that Ma Long also had when he was 25 years old. And we are going to see a Chinese machine gun. We are going to see a player that will even be very, very strong and very hard to defeat. So wait from Wang Ziqin to improve even more. For Hugo Calderano, this loss is a setback, but he should not be discouraged. He must not be discouraged. He will learn a lot from this loss, and also is a great achievement to still be second. He will go back to training and work on returning left-handed serves and staying patient under pressure. It will be interesting to see how he performs at the World Table Tennis, China's Mass and other events. Why the Chinese players dominate table tennis now? I believe it's very important to do this analysis for you to understand why the Chinese players dominate table tennis. After watching these finals, many people ask, why do Chinese players keep winning? Let's talk about some reasons and then we will finish this long podcast, but I believe very useful. Table tennis for China is more than a sport, it's a lifestyle. In China, table tennis is part of daily life. Children start playing at a very young age. Many schools have table tennis tables and there are training centers in almost every city, in almost every corner. Kids who show talent can join special sports schools where they practice many hours each day. They also attend regular school classes, but table tennis training is a big part of their life. So when they get older and reach the national team, some kids reach the national team, they train even more, sometimes 8 hours a day. So you can understand that playing table tennis becomes as normal as eating or sleeping. So it is really important to see that the whole strategy around table tennis in China is much more different than the approach we have in Europe. Because so many people play, there is a huge pool of talent. In some clubs there are dozens of players who could beat top players from other countries. This competition within China makes everyone better. If you want to stay on the national team, you have to be the best among hundreds of players. That pressure pushes players to improve constantly. When they play international tournaments, they are used to pressure because they face strong opponents every day in practice. So, also, we have special scientific training and coaching. The Chinese national team uses sport science to improve performance. They have coaches for technique, physical training, psychology and nutrition. They analyze videos of matches, studying their opponents' strengths and weaknesses. They use data to decide which serves work best and how to adjust their tactics. They also have specialized practice routines to improve footwork, reaction time and endurance. This scientific approach helps players develop all aspects of their game. So they are learning every single day. They are even learning from their losses. Even though the Chinese players win most of the time, they do lose occasionally. When they lose, they analyze those matches carefully. Earlier this year, Hugo Calderano beat Wang Chiqin in the World Cup final. Instead of making excuses, Wang and his coaches studied why he lost. They realized he needed to improve his serve and return game. Wang worked on these areas and came back stronger, as we saw in Macau, winning 4-0. This ability to learn and adapt is important. And it is very important to understand that when they see the problems, they try to fix them. The same thing happened with Ma Long in the past. So, Ma Long in the past, as you all remember, before the golden era that started in 2015, he had similar problems. So, as we said earlier, they realized he needed to improve his serve and return game. One checked in, one worked on these areas and came back stronger. The same happened, similar thing, in different areas with Ma Long. Ma Long lost important matches in the past early in his career. He used those experiences to become stronger and eventually won Olympic gold medals. Young players like Lin Xidong and Hyang Peng will also go through this process. It's necessary to go through this process. They may lose to foreign players now, but those losses will help them grow. So they will become much more stronger. Table tennis is not just physical, it needs mental strength and discipline. It is very mental sport. Chinese players practice not only their strokes but also their concentration and composure. It is very important to have good concentration and composure. They learn to focus on each point and not worry about the score. In the women's final, Su Ningxia showed this mental strength. She was down 3-2 but did not panic. She focused on her tactics and stayed calm. In the men's final, Wang Ziqin did not get nervous when he fell behind early. He believed in his training and kept going. He had confidence. Practice creates confidence. He was concentrated. This mental toughness comes from years of practice and the guidance of experienced coachings. So, the coaches play a very, very important role. Also, they adapt to new rules. In recent years, table tennis has introduced new rules, like the table tennis review system, TTR. This system allows players to challenge serves and other decisions. It means players have to be very careful with their serve motion. If a serve is illegal, they lose the point. So, Chinese players adapt quickly to these new rules. They practice their serve techniques to make sure they follow the rules exactly. They also use the review system strategically. This makes them more confident and helps them avoid penalties. Some people also say that China is becoming less dominant because they allow foreign players to train in their leagues. It is true that players like Morgard have trained in China and learned from Chinese coaches. Videos of Chinese training methods are available online, showing exercises that improve reaction, agility and strength. This has helped foreign players get better. However, playing in the Chinese league, for example, like we have seen in the past, great player Truls Morgard had the ability to play, helps a lot. China still stays ahead of the rest because they constantly innovate. They develop new serves, new training drills and new strategies. They share some knowledge, but they also keep some secrets. They also have many players who practice together every day, pushing each other to new levels. For another country to catch up, it would be very difficult. It would need several top players to train together consistently, like a mini version of a Chinese national team. So it's something that is not very easy. We will have to have from each country, like Sweden, 2 Swedish players in the top 10, 2 top players from Germany in the top 10, 2 top French players in the top 10. It's not easy. You have to have 2 top 10 players so they compete each other and they train together, so they are able to catch the Chinese. What other countries can do? If they are allowed to compete with China, other countries can learn from these points. They need to build strong youth programs to find and develop talent early. They must create training centers where players practice together and push each other. If they are allowed, they can have their players to play in the Chinese Super League, like we have seen lately Truls Morgard played. They should use sports science and video analysis to improve tactics. They must also focus on mental training and adapt to new rules quickly. Countries like Brazil, Sweden and France and Germany are already making progress. For example, France now has several young players in the top world rankings. If they work together, they may challenge China in the future, but it will take time and a lot of hard work. And also you have to remember that the Chinese national team stays in China, they play for the flag and they don't leave in order to go most of the times in another country to play like what happens in Europe. In Europe, all the players, of course, they love their countries, but they go and play in other countries as well, in other clubs. This, up to now, is not happening in China. And also this is very important because it is easier for the Chinese national team to be gathered and push each other in one venue. While in Europe, for example, a lot of players go and play in other countries. The World Table Tennis Champions Macau 2025 is now over, and both Su Ningxia and Wang Ziqin have been crowned champions. Their victories make them favorites for the next big tournament, the World Table Tennis China Smash. This event will take place from 25 September to 5th October 2025. It will feature even more players and will likely decide the rankings going into the World Championships and the Olympic Games. For Su Ningxia, the challenge will be to maintain her form and avoid injuries. She showed she can fight through long matches. Her main rivals will be her own teammates, including Wang Manu and also maybe some other top Chinese teammates. For Wang Ziqin, the challenge will be to stay focused as world number one. Many players will study his match with Hugo and try to find weaknesses. For Hugo Calderano, this loss will be a motivation to train harder. He knows he can beat Wang because he did it earlier this year. He needs to improve his game plan, to work on handling left-handed serves and staying patient when rallies get long. To finish this podcast, I want to remind you a few key points from this analysis. Resilience wins matches. Both finals showed that comebacks are possible. You have to believe you can come back. Don't give up even if you fall behind. Tactics and adjustments matter. Changing serve, placements, spin and attack patterns can change the flow of a game. So remember that tactics matter a lot. Mental strength is crucial. Staying calm under pressure helps you make good decisions. China's depth and system is a large talent pool, scientific training system and mental discipline keep China at the top. So, why the Chinese are at the top? Because the China's system is very deep and there is also a lot of talents, a lot of talented players coming all the time. Other countries can learn from this, but it takes time. They have to develop young players coming in all the time. The only country we see this right now mostly is France. And all the other countries will have to follow the footsteps of France in order to be able to have a lot of players challenging the Chinese. Thank you for listening to this long analysis. I hope you enjoyed the detailed breakdown of the World Table Tennis Champions Macau 2025. Remember to subscribe to our channel and follow for more table tennis content. See you next time. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you.